Hello to another part of CTR Nitro Fueled. This time we're doing... Jesus Christ, this is so much we gotta fucking get through. So, what, like 4 videos now have been like more than 40 minutes long? Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, so this time we're doing the cup race. If I'm not doing all the cup races, because the first 4 are just tag team, crash team racings, fucking, you know, all the cuts we did then, with that Let's Play back then. They haven't changed at all of that. And the other 3 after that are basically just the Nitro Kart ones, which I will do when we do Nitro Kart, because pretty much all the tracks there are already in cups for the most part. Like, the additional 4th track they add into those cups is, for the most part, from another cup, the 4th one, that they did not add into this game. So, yeah, I'm not doing those either. However, what I will be doing is all of Nitro Fueled's cups, starting with this one called the Lost Cup. And Lost Cup starts off in this area, in the Clockwork area. So basically, just a Nitro Kart track to start us off with. Great. For the most part, I mean, this is fine. I have no real issues with how this is all made and handled and shit. I don't like this ability though, because Jesus Christ, does it really just fuck things up. And it goes on for a while too, like, yeah. Also, there is a thing about the cup races in this game that we have to basically talk about, because there is a star system to this. You can either get a bronze, silver, or gold star. And our goal, obviously, is to, at the very least, complete everything we need to complete. So, getting the gold stars in every cup is essentially what I want. So, how do we get the gold stars? Well, essentially, all we gotta do is not be shit at these fucking cups while the AI is on hard. Now, all of the CTR and Nitro Kart cups were easy to me. I had no real trouble in getting the gold in them, so competing against them on the hard AI, for the most part, isn't that bad. The AI on hard does have its bullshit moments, but I mean, it's hard, so that's fine. Also, not time for Oxide Station. But yeah, like for the most part, when it comes to these, like the AI does have its dick moments, but they are manageable. It's just they are very close to you the entire time, and they can even be much faster than you for no good fucking reason. However, with the Nitro Fueled tracks, with the fucking Grand Prix tracks we'll be seeing eventually, one of the tracks, I honestly believe, is rather impossible to really get a first in without having a whole shit ton of luck, because oh boy, with hard AI, it's just, there's just so much shit all over the place. There is so much fucking shit all over the goddamn place, and it gets worse and worse when you realize how bad things are going to get from there. Also, might I add that in the original Team Racing, that ability that just hit me right there, the blue ball, yeah, you know, the blue shell of this game, that is a player-only item. Or at least it was in the original games, but, yeah, they decided we're gonna give the AI the blue shell, too. So, that can happen. Of course, your real threat in this one is going to be the rockets. I mean, they also have the time thing and that fucking blue shell ability, so you will at least need a shield for that one. But yeah, other than that, for the most part, weapons are a lot more bullshit for the player, essentially, when it comes to the hard AI. They are harder here than they were in the original games, which is sad. However, let's make it impossible. It is still possible to kick their asses and win in this shit without much trouble, really. So, I mean, there is that going on. Of course, with Oxide Station here, they got rid of all the fucking good shortcuts. Like, I can't jump over that. I don't think you could. It looks like you can. And also, you know, you can't even fucking, you know, jump over the railing to skip half of the fucking track like you could in the original CTR. So, you know, thanks, Beanox. But, yeah, I remember gripes about this track of that shit. Right now we're dealing with the cups, and the cups, you know, they're basically the same as they've ever been. Our goal is to at least get first in every track, well, almost every track at least. 3 first places will be enough for us to essentially get the win, no matter what happens. So I can get fucked completely in one track, but if I get first in the rest, I mean, the AI can't beat me at that point. I get like, what, 27 points total from those 3 first places. The AI, I believe, would get much less than that. I don't remember how much the second place points give you, like about 6 or 5. Those are much lower than what they need. And the best part is, oh, by the way, I nearly had a really good run going with that one. I believe we'll end up coming back to this track later on, and yeah, you're going to see something magical from it. I was amazed by how well I did on this one when I got back to here and went around that bullshit. But hey, now we're doing the Grand Prix track. It's this one, the Twilight Tour one. Now, Twilight Tour, when it comes to how the AI handles this one, is, for the most part, just fine. I have no real gripes or issues with this one. It's just, it works okay, for the most part. I will say, though, that there is an issue with these tracks. And, that issue happens to be sort of bottlenecking, you know, bottlenecking the fucking, the items that you drop down and shit. Which the AI can easily do, and it ends up with you just having walls upon walls of vials and TNT crates and nitro crates and all sorts of shit in your fucking way. And it can get to a point where it's kind of impossible to avoid it. Especially if you're going in for longer than 3 laps, which I'm not doing, and it's never happening. But if you did, essentially, you'd be having to deal with the nightmare of just having a fuck ton of shit on the ground that you would have to try and avoid and such. And with this track, you don't even need that much shit to bottleneck them, because there are these little, you know, paths here which cut off half of what is essentially a rather hallway-ish sort of area. And you put like 2 vials in a row around there, and they're fucked. They would have to either somehow jump around over the fucking, you know, the pool area, which for the first one, it's not happening really. The second one, yeah, but the first one, nah, there's no jump to work with there. You're basically just fucked there unless you get super lucky around the edge. Or you just drive into the fucking, you know, the hazard and you just take the damage. And you end up losing first place because, again, you're playing on hard, and unless you're going super fast like I am right now, they stick by you pretty closely. So getting hit once will more than likely guarantee you to end up basically being last even as soon as you are able to drive again. Because these hazards, they don't last long when you get like a TNT or a vial, what have you. But the AI will essentially put you in last place immediately from first if you hit one fucking hazard at any point, unless you are far away ahead with a fucking blue flame. Because even though this is on hard, the AI does not know how to make the blue flame work out for themselves, so you can utilize that tactic at least. Here's Prehistoric Playground, our last track for this cup. So, yeah, for the most part, this entire cup is fine. The tracks that they give you here are okay. I had no real issues with them. Of course, there are some jumps there like that one that are a little iffy. As you can see, that one little mistake there has put me on last place, and it can take a fight to get back to first place at that point, because, for the most part, the AI is just going to be absolute bullshit at that point. And even with a blue flame going on, even with a fucking mask going on with it and such, you can end up taking quite a while to end up getting even to 7th place if you're far enough away, because just like, they are fucking fast. In fact, if you haven't noticed from me shooting these rockets, the AI, the fucking rockets take like a millennia to reach them. they can get you really fucking quickly. With the AI, though, they take forever. It's just really one-sided at that point on how fast the AI is when you look at the fucking rocket speed. Because, quite honestly, the AI is just kind of cheating. Because they're even using styles that don't even have that much speed. Like, they'll be using something like a fucking handling style or turning style, whatever. They won't use one that is like, you know, speed or what have you. They'll be using ones that are more for like good turns and shit, and it's just, or good acceleration, like mine, acceleration. But even with acceleration for me, it doesn't equal, you know, getting that kind of speed normally, which they just have in troves. So yeah, the AI is just kind of cheating when you put them on hard, and you gotta deal with that. And it just kind of leads to you having to pull up some cheap-ass tactics on them. And, yeah. Though, this is not hard, to be fair. This is not, like, excruciating, like, you know, the Relics and the Time Trials were. That shit was a fucking nightmare. This is, you know, it has its bullshit, but for the most part, it's manageable bullshit. Like, if you have some skill, you can handle this. You don't even have to be the best to handle this shit. You can take care of this if you have, at the very least, taken care of, you know, the gold relics, like all gold relics in every track at least. You can beat the hard fucking bastards here. And also, I got a trophy. Here is the victory for the crate. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. An absolute masterpiece. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, I was on hard difficulty, and I got a gold star. So yeah, if you're on easy, you get a bronze star. If you're on normal AI, you get a silver star. To get a gold star, the AI must be on hard. And considering this next track here, with this fucking cup... Okay, so here's the thing about Spyro Circuit that we never saw until now. For one thing, it's crystals now, you know, the gems, instead of Wumpa Fruit, because it's Spyro. But another thing is that there are two things that are now around the ground. There are gem crates, which will give you a certain amount of gems, and randomly there are just explosive crates. There are just... Also, what the fuck was that game? What was that bullshit with the rocket there? I don't agree with that. But yeah, there are, you know, the regular sort of question mark stuff there. And you got that shell I was about to run into. Here's the crystal crate right there. That will give you a whole bunch of gems if you hit it or shoot a rocket at it or what have you. And then there's the explosives. They are basically TNT on the track. And they respawn every time. And they're always there. And yeah, they're just forced TNT. This track is the only track in the entire game that has placed TNT hazards in your fucking way like that. No other track does this. I would usually not shit on, you know, Spyro Circuit that fucking hard. I think it's not a good track, but at the same time, I don't think it's the fucking, you know, absolute worst. That's later on. But if we're talking just races, yeah, Spyro Circuit's one of the fucking worst, because these hazards are quite honestly dog shit. Why would you put fucking dynamite crates in the middle of your fucking track? And also, I hate how I hit what is essentially just a barrier. It's not even like the grass. I hit a fucking barrier. A wall. You could allow me to drive off that shit, but for some reason, I just bail from that. And there's another fucking wall that, you know, we've always seen. It was in like Polar Express or whatever. It was one of the ice levels where in the original CTR, you could ride the wall. In this game, you just phase through the fucking wall. So yeah, I failed and got fourth. So I need to get first in all three of these, essentially, to even win. That's fine, because this isn't like any other kind of game where, because because someone else got like second or first in the first race, the game has dictated that that person is always going to be first, always going to be second or some shit. They're always going to be your competitor, you know? A lot of racing games do that. This game does not do that. Instead, it's all for themselves at that point, because unless you're very unlucky and they do that shit, more than likely the AI will get like just a random placement every time. They'll either, they'll get first, and then they'll get last, and they'll get last again. You know, that kind of bullshit. So, because of that, you don't entirely need to get 3 first places in a row. 3 first places are just there so that you are, no matter what, going to win. Because unless you are just the most unluckiest motherfucker in the world of a race, no matter what, like, if you end up just getting, like, 4th, which only gives you 1 point, and, one player somehow got, second in everything else, and then got first in that last race you got 4th in, if it's going by 666 and then 9, what's happened is that, for the most part, they are close to your score. They don't have your score, though. To make sense of this for you, essentially, it means that they got 3 9s, essentially, because you got the 6, and you got a 9, and then like a 3 after that. And then you have the third second place, which 2 9s at that point for them, essentially. They get first, they got 3 9s. That means it's kind of like they got, fucking the big wins. They got 27. You already got 27, however. But then you got 4th, and you got 1 more point, so you won by 1 point, because you got 28. So yeah, and also here is the next one, good old Koala Carnival. There's no iffy things to this one either. Again, it's only Spyro Circuit where in a fucking race they add just something else. Only for the race. Only for the fucking race. They add in just fucking TNT crate shit. What I am guessing is that Beanox had plans to add more of that kind of shit in the game, more of that kind of crap, the Grand Prix tracks, but then people played the Spyro Circuit one, and they had to deal with those TNT crates, and everyone complained to Beanox, just saying, this is bullshit, this track fucking sucks, you are assholes, what the fuck? And, yeah, then Beanox decided, okay, we went a bit far, let's just not do what we did with Spyro Circuit anymore. And now every other track is just, the usual normal crates and shit. There's no additional bullshit in the way. It's the usual you would expect. Which makes Spyro Circuit the only track in the fucking game that even has what it has. So yeah, that's bad. That's really fucking bad. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, get the blue flame going on. This track is super easy. And again, it's basically, your Excitebike arena. It's a whole fucking circuit thing. Very basic one too. And I also held here as well, just to see where second place was. And what I found that second place only has like 10 points. With, third place and fourth place being like the same points there, 9. So, yeah, I'm safe. I'm safe. A lot of people have 0, by the way. There are racers here who have 0. So, yeah, that can give you a good idea on the AI here when it comes to this. Like, even if you end up getting, like, last place, there's a really good chance that as long as you've gotten first in the next 2 races, they can't beat you, because the AI more than likely just kind of fucked themselves from that point onward, and there'll be like 3 races like 0 points, and like one with like 1 point or what have you, and the rest have like either the same points or one of them has like 1 or 2 points higher, and they can't beat you. So, yeah, that is essentially what the AI in this game is like when it comes to hard AI in the cup races. So, that's why it is not on the same level as the relics, the platinum relics, and the time trial shit, because the AI is just kind of a joke. Even if I gotta deal with the absolute worst fucking shit ever, that's still nothing compared to, you know, the most bullshit times developers have added into the fucking game. Whether it is from the time trial stuff, with, you know, all the times they made for it, with the trophy times, with the Oxide times, the Velos times, and even their own dev time, which is always going to be the absolute epitome of bullshit. Or with the fucking relic stuff, where you got all the crates and their positioning and such, and the times you got for those as well, and having to either get all of them or find the fastest path through the whole thing with the crates included. And, yeah, it's just having to do all of that shit, and, yeah, just the fact you would end up having to do it over and over and over and over and over again until you go fucking brain dead. And it's just not fun. It's just bullshit. And yeah, the Time Trial and Relics stuff makes that a nightmare. But the cup stuff? I mean, the AI can pull some bullshit, yeah, but they're not consistent on their bullshit. So I still win here. I got 1/4 and 3 first. They can't beat me. As long as you get 3 first, you will win no matter what happens. All glory to the purple crate. Next up is Desert Cup Megamix Mania. This one is going to be interesting because the last 2 cups, for the most part, they just start kind of repeating tracks. They don't really add any new tracks or what have you. They only give you, like, the actual new track in the first track. And then the rest of it is just... Basically, they could have spread this out a whole lot better than they fucking did with the cups. But in these last 2, it's like, here's the new track we added, and, like, here's just 3 that kind of fit the theme it has. So, it's kind of deserty, so... Here are all the ones that have a fucking desert theme to it, like the Twilight Tour one and such. And then, like, you got the, you know, the futuristic one, the alien one, essentially. Well, here was the new track, the drive-through one. Here are some more futuristic ones, like Oxide Station and such, to fit the theme. And that's it. There's nothing else to it, really. It's just that shit. So, yeah, it's all really basic bitch stuff on how they handled these last 2 cups. Because the other 2 cups, they introduced a lot of the new tracks. But they could have, at the very least, spread out a bit better than what they did. Where they could have given you, like, 2 of the new tracks for each one. And they would have been fine. Because there's 8... tracks total for each one, so I mean, yeah, like there's 8 new Grand Prix tracks total. You could have just spread out for these 4 cups by having 2 Grand Prix tracks each, but instead you kind of blew your fucking load by having 1 track here, and then like 3 or 4 in the second one. And then comes this one, and there's like 1, and the next one's 1. No, I'm wrong. It was 2, and then you showed like about 4. Like, all of those ones in the last couple, like fucking new ones, and then yeah, then you give us 1 and 1. So yeah, we're just getting like Nitro Kart and CTR tracks now because they've literally run out of new tracks to really give us right now. So here's Out of Time, which, Yeah, I mean, out of time, not a fun track to deal with, but yeah, on hard, it's still not that big of a problem. Just use the shortcuts and you're fine. So, yeah, for the most part, that's the cups, really. They're not really well made. They're not well done. And you do get a reward. You do get something for doing the cuts. We got nothing for doing all the relics. The relic thing was just so I can complete that entirely. Get it all out of the way. Nothing was missed. Nothing, you know, was left undone, essentially. No one can say I didn't do everything, you know. But, yeah, the cup races, no. You do get something for doing every single one of these. You do get something for doing them with all gold stars and such. So, I will show that off at least. It is unlockable that I can do. You know, it's not like the fucking Velas times and Dev times where I don't want to fucking do them because I fucking hate the time trial shit and I hate the fucking Velas and Dev times so much. And I never, ever want to do dev times in these games. I don't want to be forced to fucking do them. Do not fucking force a player who doesn't want to speedrun your fucking game to beat your dev times. The dev times should be an optional fucking thing, not a mandatory one. And when you lock a fucking item needed for 100% completion behind dev times, you are making dev times mandatory. So, yeah, Beanox, you're a bunch of fucking cunts. Fuck you. This isn't even like a fucking achievement thing either, where like, oh, I beat all of our times to get an achievement. It's even like that. It's beat our fucking dev times and you get a customizable that does fuck and all, really, other than give you a slightly different look with your wheels, if you're using a car with wheels. If you don't have a fucking car with wheels, well, there you go, whatever. It's just... the rewards you get for doing it is not worth it, and the whole thing is just not worth it overall, unless you really want max percent, unless you've either spent a whole bunch of your fucking life grinding for fucking Wumpa coins to buy everything, or you spent hundreds of dollars in order to buy everything in the fucking store, and then you want to go ahead and get all the unlockables too to make sure you got that max percent. The only thing that you wouldn't count for max percent is all of the promo shit, of all the gummy bear stuff you had to do, of the fucking buying a subscription for Xfinity, which, oh god, like, I feel like there might be only like one person in the fucking universe who has actually gotten every single thing. There's probably only one fucking guy out of the entire player base who not only has everything unlocked, has bought or, you know, bought out of his hard-earned money or through grinding constantly in this game. By the way, there are crates there that do give you one per free, at least you need that. But, yeah, like, they either they paid it their money or they paid with their time, gain all the shit from the fucking shop. There's only one person who did all of that and got every single promo item. They pre-ordered the fucking game. They got a fucking Xpedia subscription service. They bought a shit ton of fucking, you know, candy to get all the codes. They went into that one event that they were maybe nearby on and they had to travel for to get that fucking code. They did everything in their damn power to get every damn thing in the fucking game. And it's like, was it worth it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is worth it to be known as the only guy who has every single item in Nitro Fueled. Until somebody hacks the fucking PC game and, you know, puts all that shit in by default. You know, that's gonna happen. Someone's gonna modify all of the promo shit and such into the fucking PC port of this game, and it's not gonna fucking matter in the slightest that you got all that shit legitimately, because everybody else has it now. But yeah, it's just... it's just a whole bunch of shit with that, and it's the main reason why I never even bothered to even care about the items in the first place. It's why I don't give a shit about the customizables and such, because not only do they do fucking nothing in this game really, other than just look cool or what have you, but the biggest issue is just the fact that Activision utilized all of this to essentially just scam you in a way. Like, we were told there'd be no microtransactions in this game. What happened? Oh, microtransactions. Activision added it in later on. They added in like a month or two later in the fucking game. That's fucked, honestly. They were hiding that shit until the moment where the pre-orders were already done, so nobody could return that shit. Nobody could cancel the damn pre-orders and all. They waited until that moment to add that fucking bullshit in. That is very, very dirty. But then they got even worse when it came to all the promo shit and the fucking Xfinity thing and all. And it's just... I'm sorry, but... everything about these items and how they were handled was fucked. Also, Desert Cup's done. I got the gold. Moving on. Moving on to the final cup. Ding. Let's go. This is Space Cup. Drive Through Danger, the final track. In case you're wondering how the AI handles this track, not very well. You can kind of tell that the AI is not having the most fun time with this track. You know, they're getting rid of their blue flame almost immediately and such. They're not going super fast. They're kind of taking their time in a way around the turns and such. They're going safe. If you have to go fucking safe around that kind of shit, like look at that. If they're going actually fast around shit, they go right off the thing. So, yeah, the AI themselves can't really handle this fucking track that well. No offense, but that kind of makes this track bullshit. I'm not even having a good time handling this. Like, this track is just a fucking mess. It is a terrible track. I fucking hate it. And quite frankly, I don't think it should have been in the game. I don't think they should have made this track the way it did. Because it just sucks. It just fucking sucks. This and Spyro Circuit fucking suck. And so does Gingerbread Joyride. But at least I can understand why they made Gingerbread Joyride the way they did. Alright? I can sort of understand where they were going with that. I can't with this. This feels like an afterthought. This feels like they just threw a whole fuck ton of turns everywhere and shit, and they called it a fucking day. This is a mess of a damn track, and it sucks. It shows so harshly how badly this is. How this does not fucking work well at all with how CTR, these controls, work normally. This is essentially a Nitro Kart track. And it's not even a good one. It's a bad one. If you have to do this shit I'm doing right now of having to use the handbrake in the mid-air, not losing your blue flame in the middle of that and shit, if you have to do that constantly around a whole bunch of turns, it's not a good track. it's not a good fucking track because you're not using the fucking way that this game's turns work. You're essentially abusing a harder turn that is usually meant to get rid of your fucking boost, but you're finding a way around that by being in the fucking air. And you're essentially just... And the thing is, if you really fucking cared about us using the tight turns and shit and not losing our boost from it and such, what you could have done... What you could have fucking done is done what CTR originally did, and that is not getting rid of our fucking boost when we do the handbrake thing. At any point. If you do the handbrake in CTR originally, and it's on the ground, you keep your fucking boost. You keep your blue flame going and shit. That buildup is never lost. But you got rid of that. You even got rid of the ability of keeping your boost going longer by constantly bunny hopping. You got rid of bunny hopping. Like, Beanox got rid of so much shit, and yet they expect you to still do that shit when you fucking can't. And you have to do different shit to get around it, and it's just really fucky and bad. It's really fucking bad. So yeah, in case you haven't figured it out yet on how I fucking feel about this game, it's not a good game. To me, it's not that good a game. To you though, it's a really good game. You know, because you'll probably find some fun out of it. But to me, there is so much bullshit, and it endures me of so much pain, that I cannot find this fun or enjoyable. All I can fucking get from this is a whole shit ton of bullshit that Beanox are being the absolute bastards about. They knew what they were fucking doing by doing this shit. And they're fucking dickheads for it. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm never doing max percent. Why I'm never buying everything from the shop. Why I'm never doing the Velos and dev times. To me, I've already gone 100%. I did the 100% way of time trials the way CTR originally did it, which is just up to Oxide. And I fucking, you know, I've done all these cups now, because we're doing the last one now. We're halfway through the last cup now. You know? I'm getting all the other shit done. I did all the relics and platinums. I did adventure mode. I even did it on hard. I know I showed that last part. I'm doing all the achievements. I've gotten all the other unlockables for the most part. I even used the fucking cheat code to get Penta Penguin, for fuck's sake. Didn't use any other cheats in this game except the Penta Penguin one to unlock him and show him off and shit, because you have to. You have to unlock Penta Penguin in order to get that max percent shit, so you have to use the cheat code. And nothing gets locked or fucked up from it because they intended for you to use that cheat code. They wanted you to use the cheat code because that's an unlockable thing. So yeah, this is... The good news, by the way, to me, the good news, is that as of this commentary, I've already recorded the rest of this game. So, good news, I'm fucking done with this game. Personally, right now, as of this commentary, I am done with this fucking game. And I have the game shelved, and I'm never using it ever again. I'm never putting it in my PS4 ever again. I'm not buying any other version of this game. I am not playing this game ever again. I fucking refuse to give this game any more of my fucking time. I have been playing this fucking game for fucking months now. For weeks. Weeks on fucking end. It has mentally damaged me. It has physically damaged me. My thumb is literally fucked right now. And the mass amount of depression I ended up going through all this, it was not fucking worth it to my mental health. It was not fucking worth it. And yet here I am. I went through it anyway. I'm a fucking moron for hurting myself in that fucking way. All just so people don't get all fucking shitty with me. Calling me a fucking bitch because I couldn't handle this shit. And also, here is the most amazing run I had around these shitty fucking bends. I got so lucky. Look at that. That was the best run ever. I kept that blue flame going almost the entire time. I am happy with that. And I'm never going to end up doing it again. And that's fine by me. And I have the first places, so I've already got my solid win here. I can just get 8th place here in this track, and it wouldn't matter. I already have the win. By the way, that's a great spread out, isn't it? Huh. You know, you get first place, you get 9 points. You get second place, you get 6 points. You get third place, 3 points maybe. Fourth place, 1 point. 5th to 8th, nothing. No wonder you end up seeing like half the fucking list be zeros for some. Because it's just like, the way they've laid out the point average for this, it's really shitty. It's honest to God, really shitty. Unless you are in the top 4, you're getting nothing. You're getting fucking nothing. And I get why. Because look where it's on the left. You know, there's that on the HUD, showing all their avatars and shit and their placements. So, you know, that's why. But still, it's really fucking shitty. They could have spread this out a whole lot better than they did. Instead of having half the people get fucking nothing for their efforts. Like, somebody gets fucking blown up on 1st, ends up on 5th. Oh, you get nothing. You get 0 points. You were close to getting 1 point, but nah, you get nothing. Even though you were on 1st for almost the entire track, then a rocket came and hit you in the ass, and you end up in 5th because of that. You know, you get nothing for your efforts. That's Crash Team Racing, everybody. Fucking Mario Kart was more fair than that with its point average for this shit. I don't even care if I'm hitting into these electric walls. I've already won. I've already won. Look how far I am right now. They are not even utilizing the blue flame good at all. So because I am, everybody's getting trumped here. Everybody's getting fucked. Also, that just happens. Did you see that? The only way that would happen is if the crate was fucking hit. But here's the thing. Nothing hit that. My bomb was well away from that crate. And no one was there to hit the crate either. Everybody else is, like, on the other side of the track. So, the game just magically changed the crate. It magically changed the track. And, that just happened. And that's weird to me. That's really fucking weird. You know? I guess this is this game's last attempt to try and fuck around with me. But, yeah, I don't give a shit. After this, I can put the AI on easy. And all I really have to do at that point is take care of the CTR challenge stuff for you on the stuff that you wouldn't get from Nitro Kart and Team Racing, which is one track, apparently, or really all the Nitro Kart stuff, really, because, you know, the letters themselves. And Yeah, everything a Grand Prix. Everything a Grand Prix I have to do with the fucking CTR token shit. Anyway, that's all the cups. And for doing all the cups, what I've ended up getting is free skins. Free fucking car skins. So, let's just go over the CR challenge and, you know, just select it and see what I've gotten. Because, yeah, here's all the Nitro Kart stuff, which I gotta go through, and here's all the bonus track stuff outside of Retro Stadium. And here are my rewards for doing all of the cups through hard. I got a bronze, got a silver, and I got trophy gold. So there you go, those are your awards for doing all the cups there in easy, medium, and hard. So here's bronze. It's just kind of meh. Here's silver. It's much better than, it's not like a lesser platinum essentially. You can see it has no shine to it. And here's gold, which is essentially relic gold, except relic gold has no shine to it. So this is the better gold. Trophy gold is better than relic gold. And that's going to do it for this part. So next time in CTR Nitro Fueled, on the usability of the AI and shit, we're doing the CTR challenges. Thanks for watching, I'll see you then.